Good afternoon. I love it when I say good afternoon and people take a few minutes because it means that the Girlfriend Network is alive and you're all talking to each other and you're helping people out with your jobs, your career path, your children, your childcare. So I am delighted that it always takes a few minutes. It knows that we've got a really good crowd here today, so thank you. I'm welcoming you to the Women's Leadership Connection Luncheon. My name is Leanne Scales. I'm the director of a new initiative in our region, and it's called the North Central Mass Coalition for Employer-Sponsored Childcare. How many of you have been frustrated with childcare? There's more than that. Get your hands up. So we endeavor to solve the problem. That is a big statement, and we're going to do it. There is going to be a shared funding model here in North Central Mass with businesses, government, and parents sharing this cost so that children can be in childcare in an easier way, and so that families, particularly women, can focus on their careers in a way that fits their life better. If you want to know more, you can contact myself or Kat Deal, brand new to our initiative, and let me know what we can do to help you in that regard. Also, I'm embedded in the offices of the Community Foundation of North Central Mass. For folks of you who know them, on your table is this guide, one of the few community foundations who didn't already have a fund just for women and girls. And this is the perfect audience to tell you about it. There's a QR code in here. You can donate. There's no donation too small. There's certainly no donation too big. But we want to make a difference for women and girls. And most importantly today are the guests that we have here today. I'm so excited about the people who are going to be the real focus of today, and that's Fitchburg's brand new mayor, Samantha Squailia. Give it up. And Sheila King Goodwin, who is our sponsor from Fidelity Bank. So you know all this already, but the Women's Leadership Connection is a network created for women, by women, to support women. We want to help leaders. We want to help aspiring leaders. We want to help women step into leadership roles and do their very best. So we are helping you foster relationships. You're going to be building networks at these events. You're going to contribute to the community. And most importantly, let us know, let the chamber know what topics you want to have at these lunches. This is your event. So we need to be serving you, so let us know. Let the good folks at the North Central Chamber. I want to recognize some special guests in the audience today. The Registrar of Deeds, Kathleen Reynolds-Dagno, is here. Representing Congressman Jim McGovern's office, my dear old friend Eladia Romero. There she is. And total rock star on the staff of our friend Senator Cronin is Beth Walsh. So Beth, stand up. So I'm going to go sit down for a little bit until we have an interview with our fabulous new mayor of Fitchburg. But in the meantime, I want you to give a big round of applause and welcome to Sheila King Goodwin from the Women's Leadership Series and Fidelity Bank, without whom we wouldn't be here.
Good afternoon. Woo! My name is Sheila King Goodwin, and I am the Chief Community Banking Officer at Fidelity Bank, and I am so pleased to be here today at the Women's Leadership Conference. On behalf of the bank, it is an honor to sponsor the Women's Leadership Conference. The bank is passionate about supporting our community and about supporting this conference. To me, it's an opportunity to connect with other women leaders and really to take the time to engage and interact and to be inspired. And how often do we have an opportunity to really sit back and just talk and just share? So I'm really excited about this opportunity. I've mentioned this before. It's a perfect time as we celebrate Women's History Month and take the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishment of women leaders who have paved the way before us. But as we all know, women carry many roles that make our communities a better place to live, work, and to raise our families. So today, we celebrate you. At Fidelity Bank, we recognize the power that women contribute to our organization, as 68% of our senior leadership are comprised of women. Our team, woo! Our team every day, we're motivated by our unique approach to banking called Life Design. It's our own way of providing our clients the clarity that they need to move forward in confidence. So in this world with increased uncertainty, it is our mission to provide our clients care, clarity, and confidence. So as we celebrate women leaders, our leadership speaker today, Samantha Squailia, is currently serving her first term as mayor of the city of Fitchburg. She was elected on November the 7th, 2023 as the 46th mayor and the third female mayor in the city of Fitchburg. As a lifelong resident of Fitchburg, Sam's passion and dedication has always been at the forefront and has been proven through her work over the years. So check out this long list, serving in a volunteer capacity on numerous boards throughout the city and state, including the Mass DOT, Keep Fitchburg Beautiful, Fitchburg Pride, Fitchburg Greenway Committee, Fitchburg Cultural Alliance, Friends of Fitchburg Abolitionist Park, Voter Choice Mass State Advisory Board, Fitchburg Farmers Market, and countless others. So Sam's been extremely busy. So I am pleased and very honored to welcome Fitchburg Mayor Sam Squailia to the podium.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's see. We've got a presentation here. I was told, Sam, can you come speak? Yeah, I can come speak. Can you do some slides? All right, what do I got to talk about? Kat says. Oh, you know. Oh, you got it. All right. So, this is what I got. This is largely about, inspiration on what I hear from women and questions that I've been asked. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are and how we contribute to our community. In introduction, in case you don't know who I am, and if you didn't hear what Sheila had to say, my name's Samantha Squailia. I am the 46th mayor of the city of Fitchburg, the third female mayor, right after Mayor Mary Whitney was the first female mayor, and then Mayor Lisa Wong, and I follow in their footsteps through their glass ceiling that they have broken. I was elected as city councilor at large, 2017, for 3 terms, up until, being elected as mayor. In my previous life before January 2nd, I was a building design engineer and project manager, so I did a lot of building design and engineering, so I can talk the lingo and the jargon about building design, which is fun. Especially helpful being the mayor with so much construction and investment in the city of Fitchburg. I'm also a small business owner in the city since when? 2012. I started the business with my spouse, and my spouse Nick, and I have a daughter Nicolette who just turned 14. 14. In the 8th grade. So that is me. And then also me. Also who I am. I make dumb jokes all the time. I talk with people all the time. I support our community. I clean up trash and litter. And I'm trying to raise a confident daughter in this age of social media comparisons. I also eat ice cream for breakfast sometimes. And I take pictures of myself with random toilets on the street. I am trying to take my daughter out to do things, even though she doesn't want to go anywhere or do anything. I like to go support community events. I clean up the parks, picking up litter, raking, and that's me, an unflattering view of cleaning up a park. And I love to hold babies. That's my favorite thing. I love holding babies. So, I was recently asked to attend a Women's History Month discussion. It was about women's health, which what do I know about women's health? But all right, let's do it. And one of the questions, as I was talking, and someone asked me, so, you do so much, and, there's all this stuff going on. How do you do it all? And I thought, what does that mean? What does it mean to do it all? I don't know about that question. Where does that question come from, right? It might be from a place of admiration or appreciation, but my mind went to places of comparison. How do you do it all? Well, I don't do it all. I don't do things that you do. You do things differently than I do. I mean, with all the things that I do, I don't do a lot of other things. So, this talk today, I want to share about some of my thoughts about what it means to be a leader. What does it mean to do it all? All right, so we'll start. I'm going to do an overview of what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about breaking the comparison trap, comparing ourselves to one another, embracing our own uniqueness, and building a culture of support with our friends, our family, and our community, defining or redefining what success means to you, and challenging norms and stereotypes. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Okay, so breaking the comparison trap. So back to what does it actually mean to do it all? No one can actually do it all, right? I feel like that question has a subconscious bias. A bias towards comparing yourself to others, or a bias towards judging others based on perceptions. If I do it all, does that mean that others don't do enough? Or if I do it all, does that mean I'm doing too much? It's a trap, the comparison trap. We have to step out of that. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I'll add to that, comparison is also a killer of confidence. We are all unique. You don't know other people's struggles, and they don't know yours. You have strengths that many others do not have. What are they, right? We all have a worth to others. We are all here to serve a higher purpose. Family, friends, neighbors, community members, that's who we all are. You impact the world, and in different ways than I impact the world, or she impacts the world, or she impacts the community, or she impacts her family. We all are different. I believe a strength of mine is that I have somehow developed a personality trait that allows me to generally not take things personally, to not stress about things that are not under my direct control, and to not get angry or upset very easily. That makes me great at talking with people and doing politics, right? That makes me good at that. On the flip side, to compare, that makes me also not very sensitive. So I'm probably not the greatest at being sympathetic or talking about feelings. So maybe I'd be a terrible therapist. But even that right there, would I be a terrible therapist? I don't know. But you can see that the effect of comparing yourselves to others rarely results in a positive outcome. We all have individual worth and potential that are unique to us. and the role that we play in this community and in this world. So we must embrace our own uniqueness, our individuality, our diverse perspectives, and our passions. How do you want to impact the world? What is something that you are good at or even just truly enjoy doing? We embrace our uniqueness, our individuality, our diverse perspectives, and our passions. And how does that quality or action play a role in our family, for our friends, or in our community? What is a trait that you possess that makes you special? Go ahead, shout it out. Heidi. What's a trait that you possess that makes you special?
I bring levity to any situation.
Levity. I like that. I like to tell Heidi she's the worst. She's the worst. But you know what? That's because she never gets mad, and she's always entertaining and happy. And that brings everyone around you happiness, right? You infect people with that happiness due to your levity. Who else? What's a trait that you possess? Don't make me pick on you. Nate Glenny. What is a trait that you possess that makes you you?
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Picking on me.
You're welcome.
I don't think I can say no.
Can't say no. You're a yes man.
A collaborative yes.
A collaborative yes. You open yourself up when opportunity knocks. You answer the door. That makes you open and friendly and willing to help. Be a collaborative partner in the community.
Exactly.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. One more. One more. What's a trait that you possess that helps? Whoa. What did we get? Someone say something over here. Don't everyone speak at once.
I listen.
Michelle listens. Thank you. Did you hear everything I said? That's good, because sometimes people just wait to speak. And people really, sometimes I just want to call someone up and I want you to hear what I have to say and not tell me what you think about it. And not tell me what I should do. So having you to be able to listen makes a big difference, right? All right. So that all is how we play a role in our friends, in our family, in our business, in our community, with our coworkers. We are all unique. Be authentic to who you are, what you love to do, because it'll shine through in everything that you do. Next. Oh, no, still on this. When we're not comparing and we're not judging, we respect each other for who we are, right? When we're not comparing ourselves or judging other people, now we all appreciate who we are, right? When I tell Heidi she's the worst, right? I appreciate her because she has everything that I'm not. She brings that entertainment and that levity, and she never gets mad, which is so important. So when we respect each other for who they are, we are building our culture of support. We are building a supportive community where people uplift and empower each other for who they are and what they want to do. What does that look like? What does creating a culture of support look like? Right? Networking, right? We are all here together for the same goal. We're supporting each other. We're talking with each other. We want to know what everyone here does. We show up to events, support business, even just holding the door or picking up the phone, bringing food to people. That's one of my favorite ways to support me. Or how about just in smiling and inspiring friendly feelings, building a culture of support. How do you do this already with your friends, with your family, with your community, with the world? If you are acting as allies and advocates for one another in our lives, you are already a leader. Redefining success. Defining or redefining it. What does it mean to be successful? What does it mean to do it all? I still don't know what success means to me, frankly. I think it's always a work in progress, and it needs constant redefining what success is. You need to identify what your success looks like, because it will not look like my success. And it will not look like anyone else's success. Raising a daughter that is strong and confident and successful in her own self, I think that'll feel like success. Improving my community in every way that I can, cleaning up litter for people on the street or a park, that feels like success. Inspiring others to get out and clean up litter, that feels like bigger success. Showing up at an event and showing support for friends, taking my dog for a walk and being outside, success. Define success on your own terms, because it won't look like mine. Success is unique to everyone. Your success is different. Personal growth, personal fulfillment, and making a positive impact in our communities. That's one way that we are successful. Pursuing your passions and dreams, regardless of societal expectations or limitations. That's successful. And don't let anyone stop you from your success. Challenge norms and stereotypes. Don't let anyone stop you from being you, doing you, and being your authentic self. If you want to get involved in something, don't let the good old boys stop you. Don't let anyone stop you from being who you were meant to be or doing what you were meant to do. We are different, and that's the spice of life. If they won't give you a seat at the table, go build your own chair and pull it up. Or build a new table under a big tent and invite everyone else that wasn't invited before. Be an agent of change, because you build a culture of support which impacts one, or it can impact many, or the entire world. You have a purpose. Embrace your own unique leadership journey and make a difference in your own special way. You can be, some people are helpers, leaders, mothers, teacher, friend, boss, inspiration. You can inspire compassion, agent of change, role model. Who you are is your superpower. Your uniqueness is your superpower. Be authentic, be you. Don't compare yourself to others. Embrace it, celebrate it, let it shine, and lead with authenticity and purpose. Thank you. Together, we can build a world where we all have value and we all are valued and every contribution is recognized. There's my contact info if you ever want to reach out. All right? Thank you very much.
Okay, so I am fascinated by the paths that women take to get to their leadership positions and how we all build our lives. And I know everybody in this room has an interesting story about how they got there. And you touched in your remarks on, you're an engineer, you've got design background, you've certainly got a social media platform, and you certainly are engaged in your community. But I'd love to hear how those things happened. How did you decide to go into engineering? What school did you go to? What was that path like? And then how did that person enter the public realm? I just want to hear your path and how Sam Squailia got here.
All right. Thank you, Leanne. Okay, my path. Let's see. So I grew up in Fitchburg. I went to Goodrich for kindergarten, Crocker Elementary. Then I went to B.F. Brown. And then after B.F. Brown, I decided I wanted to go to trade school. And my father, he lived right behind Leominster High School. And I said, ooh, I can just go stay with my father and go to trade school there. So I went to Leominster Center for Technical Education.
Nice.
And I did drafting, which, computer-aided design. And then in there, I had a teacher, Mike Ranico. He was very versed in architectural design. And so we started learning everything to do with architectural design, go out on co-op, and I started doing building design and engineering, and I had been doing that for 25 years up until January 2nd.
Yowza.
Yeah. So, I absolutely love, the science and the engineering of designing buildings, for people and for industry and commercial and everything to do with that. And, after I got married, I had a honeymoon baby.
Nice.
14 years
Well
ago.
done.
That was
Well
14
done.
years ago. Yep. And, after I had my daughter, the things in life that were important, all of a sudden I don't remember what they were anymore. Right? My daughter was like, her success, that's all that's important to me. So we started a business and, to pay for daycare. Right? The
Thank you for
challenges
that.
with daycare. It was like, at the time, it was like $195 a week. And I was like, what? How am I going to pay for this? So started a business with my spouse in order to pay for daycare. And it took off. A lot of hard work. A lot of having to work with my spouse.
I don't know how you do that.
He got very good at saying, yes, dear. Smart man. So I started a business, and I started working at the Fitchburg Farmers Market. I was like, ooh, I'll set up at the Fitchburg Farmers Market, my business. And then I realized, ooh, these guys need a lot of help. And then they realized, ooh, she's a helper. Ooh, you want to do this, Sam? Ooh, you want to go there? You want to help out with this? And yes. And then like Nate said, I just kept saying yes. Yes, I can help. Yes, I'll do this. Next thing you know, I'm involved in everything I can and doing so much in the community. And then I got my arm twisted to run for city council. Like, oh, no, I'm too busy, I'll find. Mm-hmm. So, and here we are. I absolutely love serving my community. And, it's just becoming a whole new passion. And that's how I got to be where I am right now. Was that all the questions?
Yes. Yay. Okay. So thank you. And thank you for mentioning childcare, because I think that's something that we all struggle with. How's that? I didn't know how to do this by now. So thank you for that. And I'm fascinated too, and I've got to ask you, because I am a mom of 4 kids. 3 of them are engineers.
Ooh, I like them.
Me too. But I will tell you, because you told us not to stereotype, but so I'm going to tread gingerly. But I have heard from other people, when they hear that I have 3 engineers in the household, they'll say, oh, they're an odd little group of people. They don't like to talk. They don't like people, right? And I'm like, no. I mean, I have noticed the engineers in my family are quite communicative, and they enjoy interaction with people. But I will say, you don't hear of a lot of engineers going into public office.
That's generally true, except, one of our 9 new mayors across the Commonwealth, Erin Joyce, professional engineer, and the first female mayor in, is it Braintree? Braintree. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, so if there's any engineers in the audience, I do not assume that you don't know how to talk to people or have emotional intelligence.
Breaking that stereotype.
That's probably my kids have totally broken that stereotype.
I love it.
So listening to your path too, and obviously as mayor of this great city, you really need to think about economic development. That's like the big theme. That's what makes cities and regions run. That's what makes all of us successful. I want to hear how that path that you took to get to this chair today shaped your thinking on economic development.
Well, economic development, in the city of Fitchburg is extremely important. We back in the industrial age, we were the economic driving force of, the region, of the state, of the country. Right? We were pioneers in so much manufacturing and development, new industry, new thoughts, new ideas. Even when there was a before the Civil War was happening and there was slavery in the United States, the people of Fitchburg rose up and said, absolutely not, this is not right. They founded a church. They did talks, they went around, and multiple of Fitchburg residents even moved to Kansas to change the hearts and minds of people. We have a rich history of change and industry. And so connecting with that as a building designer, right, and an engineer who can speak that language when it comes to economic development, when it comes to investing in our properties, in our business, in our community, I find it to be extremely valuable. We have lots of new industry that are moving into our old buildings, that are building new buildings, that are working on creating things here in the city of Fitchburg. And, I absolutely am passionate about that. From the large, companies like we have the Tough Stuff Recycling, who are putting in millions of dollars of machines with new industry that affects the recycling of mattresses, that addressing that need.
That's an amazing initiative.
Oh yeah, and
So necessary.
oh yeah, and he's a great speaker too. He is just passionate. I love that. But from that huge investment to the Fitchburg arts community that is going to bring 68 units of artist preference housing, and what, artists are the type of people that create small business, that do the things, that go to the events, that create the creative economy, that create the places that people want to be. And when they do create their business, they tend to stay here and invest here. So that's economic development.
Economic development 101, I got it here. Check the box. Thank you for that. Perfect. So, and you mentioned in your remarks, and you mentioned that you're the third female mayor in Fitchburg, and talked about the old boys club that I think we've all encountered in Massachusetts and across the country. It's real, but I'm heartened to say that it's changing. And I just want us to pause for a minute and reflect on the historic importance, not only of you serving as the third female mayor, but I will have to tell you, when I moved to this region, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, but it was a lot. I have 4 kids and they're adults doing that. But you would not have been able to fill a ballroom with women when I first arrived for this much.
Look at where we've come. 68% of Fidelity senior staff is women, Yeah.
A little bit about the responsibility that all of us in this room have to make sure that we continue that and lift other women up. So I just want to hear your talking points on how we can do that together, how we can continue to make sure that we have female mayors and female executives and female leaders.
Let's start them young. Raise confident daughters. Okay? Teach them, show them that there are role models out there and that they don't have to compare themselves with the other people. They're good who they are, and they're confident, and don't let anyone tell them otherwise. And then we need to do that with our friends, with our family, with our coworkers, with our community. Confidence. You are who you are. You're not other people. Maybe I can operate off 4 hours of sleep.
I can.
Maybe. But Leanne, she needs 10 to 12.
Oh, you just check yourself. You don't take anything
Try not to, right? But also, maybe I'm not so sympathetic sometimes. I'm not real good at listening to people's feelings. So, see, Heidi's laughing. See, Heidi's laughing because Heidi has a lot of sympathy. Okay, she'll listen to all the people. We all have our own unique strengths, and you don't need to see them as challenges. Just focus on what you're good at, what you love, what your passions are.
And obviously, it's interesting, our region. I've always said that we are in an interesting spot. We're just far enough away from Boston. We have to build our own infrastructure, both the human infrastructure of all the work we do together and our sort of like economic basis. And that means in our region, we've got to work with 2 other mayors. I'd like you to talk a little bit about how that collaboration is like, and also with our, the legislative delegation. I think we have one of the best in the state. They work together.
Obviously, we have the best.
And of course, coming from Jim McGovern and Lori Jahan fighting for CDC. But I want to hear how you leverage those partnerships to work for for Fitchburg as part of this region.
So the Tri-City mayors we're talking about. Mayor, yeah, the Tri-City. Yeah, we have a Tri-City delegation, Mayor Mike Nicholson, Mayor Dean Mazzarella, the longest-serving mayor in Massachusetts. We're very fortunate here in North Central Massachusetts to have such great, strong representation and leadership. Mike Nicholson just elected to the MBTA Advisory Board. I mean, he is just fantastic out there. And Dean Mazzarella, he's on MassDOT. Everybody's focusing on their strengths and advocating for outside our community to bring things in, right? So, working with them, I absolutely love them. They're fantastic. So, Fitchburg, Leominster, Gardner, and our surrounding towns, right? We benefit greatly when we talk about regionalization, and that's really a focus on Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll as well. They talk about regionalization. When we're talking about economic development, it's regionalization. Efficiencies of scale, we're talking about regionalization, right? So when we have the North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce, we are talking about regionalization. If there's something that Leominster can't provide to an industry, they send it to Fitchburg, and vice versa, right? So we all can benefit from each other, and we absolutely do, and we absolutely will. And, when it comes to our legislative delegation, I think we all work very well together also and advocate for the things that we need at the state level and the federal level. Yeah.
And speaking of the state level, I think everybody here is either reading Master List every morning, or maybe you read State House News, or you're tapping into our local media.
I love Master List.
I love
it's so
Master
good.
List
It's
too.
so
It's
good.
the best. Yeah, if anybody doesn't read it, it's free. It's a daily email in your box in the morning, and it brings you completely up to date on everything happening.
All the hot politics.
It is all the hot politics. State House News is too. They're both really great resources. But so we all know that revenue in the Commonwealth is not trending in the way we've hoped.
It's not as high as they want it to
It's
be.
not as high as they want it to be, but it's a reality, and we have been fortunate to have a delegation who has worked very hard, I think, to make sure our region is remembered in all aspects of the budget. But I want to hear how you're beginning to have those conversations, or what are your thoughts about how Fitchburg can best position itself and the region you're talking about when we're looking at state revenue on the decline.
So, I've met with our representative and senator, numerous times talking about Fitchburg's needs. Representative Kushmerek, he's like, Mayor, if you could just give me a list of, top 3 things. So he got 3 pages. Okay, like three things in like 3 pages. That'll do. Okay, because we got a lot of needs. So advocating those needs and those, those sexy projects. I was telling him, here's the list. You pick out which projects you can sell, right? And so in talking with the Senator Cronin, he's all about housing, right? Right now, it's all about housing. Yeah, when it comes to the things that the city of Fitchburg needs, that the state also is connecting those needs, right? So we're talking about how that we can help develop the housing in the downtown. I have Liz Murphy and Mary Jo Bohart here from our community development. We are talking about housing development all the time, and especially in our downtown, we have these vacant units that are just ripe for investment. With the ground floor for retail, it's what do they say? Heads in the beds and feet on the street, So we have a potential for 250 units of new housing, which will bring new people, relocate people. It'll bring investment to our downtown, and it's desperately needed at the state level, all the way to the city level, and and federally as well. So connecting with housing resources, and then what do we need when we have people? We need opportunities for those people. We need transportation. We need to make sure that our rail line is there, efficient, working well, and affordable. So, the city of Fitchburg has a higher low-income population. So the MBTA Advisory Board passed that, the low-income fare to the state for MassDOT, for the MBTA. So that means if you have SNAP or Mass Health, then you'll have a 50% automatic reduction in your fare for public transit. That'll help out so many families and really makes Fitchburg very attractive because we have 2 stops on that train line. That's right, that's important. And then we're investing in, statewide to the city, working with the state on that rail trail that connects Leominster to Fitchburg to make sure that, we have multimodal opportunity for transportation, for bicycles, for pedestrians, and it's safe for families to be able to have recreation and transportation opportunities between our twin cities. We're working on that phase 2 of the rail trail right now to connect to the downtown with the largest pedestrian bridge in the state of Massachusetts. That'll be coming soon.
There are so many great women in this room who I follow on their social media challenges, their social challenges on their platform.
Well, I think that was a Freudian slip.
That's totally what that was. But I follow so many of you on LinkedIn, and I know that all of us are finding our way through, Twitter changed, and then LinkedIn has kind of been the standby, and then there's Facebook, and there's Instagram, and you have really done a good job making sure that my opinion, I think that your social media presence is authentic. I think it reflects who you are, your priorities, and you make it look kind of effortless. You do. And I'd love to hear your tips and strategies for those of us in the room about when you're about to post something, or when you're thinking about what you're going to post. Like what goes through your mind when you're thinking about the audience? And the audience for each platform, time of day that you post. I just want to hear how because you made it look easy.
Well, okay. I think you said the key word, authentic, right? The key is to be authentic to who you are, right? I like to make dumb jokes. So you'll see a lot of dumb jokes in my Facebook posts, especially if there's something available for a pun, then I'll get punny. Okay, because, I don't, it's hard to hurt my feelings. I don't really care if, people don't like. You got to put yourself out there. And I don't care if people don't like me. I'm me. I'm going to go be me. This is, what? People like me for who I am. What's that? I'm Pat, on SNL. Yeah. Or no, it wasn't Pat. It was Al Franken, playing. Yeah.
He's from my home state of Minnesota.
Is he? You from Minnesota?
I interviewed him when I was in college.
Ooh, yeah. But, gosh darn it, people like me, right? You just got to be you and put yourself out there. Post the bad pictures. You don't need, who cares? There's so many bad pictures out there. Who really cares, right? You don't need to look at the picture and say, I can't post that. I don't look very good. Who cares? That's you. Just be you. Yeah. And when it comes to time of day, I don't know if that matters. But also Facebook likes faces, right? Yeah. So, I could post a picture of a trash bag and say, hey guys, let's work to clean up litter. I'm cleaning up litter in this area. Come join me. And I'll get like 4 likes. I'll post a picture of me like, hey, me and all this trash. And people are like, I love that. Right? So, you know, people want to see other people. We want to connect with people. We don't want to connect with pictures of trash bags.
And do you see a difference between what you post on LinkedIn, for example, versus X versus Facebook or Insta?
Well, I post some things on LinkedIn, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. X, yeah, a lot of people like the LinkedIn. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I'm mostly on the Facebook. I put some of the things on the X and the Twitter, but mostly political things. Political things go on the Twitter. And on the Instagram.
Do you use Threads?
I started that because I was mad that they changed their name to X. And also,
I was mad too.
Elon Musk ruined
Twitter used to
it.
be cool, and now I'm like, this.
It made me mad. So I went to Threads, but I don't really use it.
Same. I went to Threads and did one post.
I put pictures on Instagram, but mostly those are personal. Like, hey, here's me with a toilet on the street. You know.
Thanks for the last half of the sentence. I know. Okay, so what have I not asked you about that you want to share with this great group of women?
I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot, Leanne.
You're going to have us back together because we could be best friends. And I really like chatting with you. This was just a delight.
Thank you.
Just a delight.
It was great. It was great being here with everybody.
It was. So can we thank Mayor Samantha Squailia?
Fidelity Bank.
Fidelity Bank. And thank you for being such a strong leader of empowering and lifting women up in your organization. And I really appreciate it. And we are going to see you all at the next Women's Leadership Connection.
When is that?
I don't know. I was hired for my ability to riff off your jokes.
Success. Success.
I was not hired to know when the next one is. Does anybody know when the next one is?
June, I think it's in June.
June.
Sorry, I just started for all of you. My dad's position, so I believe June. You can go now, go.
Thank you, Valerie.
We think you're going to do great things. You have big shoes to fill. However, this is a wonderful, welcoming group of women, and you let any of us know if you need help thinking of a speaker or a way to make this event better. We're all here to help you up.